So first things first, what is roadmap writers? Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you guys about my experience interning with roadmap writers and what I learned throughout the internship. Roadmap Writers is a company, is an online educational resource for screenwriters, and they acknowledge that a lot of the time in different programs and degrees that screenwriters and just writers in general will do, they teach you the craft of writing, they teach you how to write, but a lot of the time they don't teach you the business of writing and how to be in the business of writing. They don't teach you how to get signed. They don't teach you how to get a job specifically. They don't create that roadmap to getting jobs and all those kinds of things. They don't teach you how to pitch. They don't teach you how to query. So they're a company that tries to take on that aspect. They still do craft work, but the focus is around being in the business of writing and succeeding in the business of writing. So it's an incredible company, and I will have their information linked down below. They've got lots of great resources and lots of great opportunities to work with and just better yourself as a writer in your place, again, within the business of writing. So these are the 7 things that I learned this summer as an intern for Roadmap. So the first thing that really sticks out to me is I really realized that following writing rules does not have to mean that your writing is formulaic. And what I mean by that is I found that I was writing in a way where like it just sounded like a formula and my voice wasn't strong in there. And basically I learned that by reading a ton of scripts this summer and seeing how other people were doing it better, and then finding how I could incorporate that into my own writing, and ways that you can incorporate your voice and style into your writing without, foregoing the writing rules. Use ellipses, use bold, use capitalization, italicize. All of those kinds of things can really help add in some, flavor to your script, but you're not breaking rules to do it. The second thing that has been so helpful that I learned is how to read scripts quickly while still providing valuable feedback. So when you have a whole queue of scripts to read, you can't be taking forever to read them, and being able to read quicker and quicker has been so helpful for me. And I actually was offered a position to continue working for Roadmap by reading contest submissions. And so as I'm getting all of these scripts to read, being able to read quickly while still being able to give feedback that means something and I've actually paid attention to what I've read is really great. And honestly, the only way, or at least the fastest and best way to do this, is to just read a ton of scripts and work on speed. The next thing I learned is what is most valuable in a pitch. I was able to read pitch reports from executives, and it really helps me see what they're looking for when reading or viewing a pitch. One thing is that you should always leave time at the end of your pitch for any questions. Energy in a pitch is a total game changer. An incredible script can appear mediocre at best if the writer's energy does not match the script, and a mediocre script can appear incredible if a writer's energy is in the right place. So I don't mean if you're telling a very somber, serious story that you need to be up and chipper and ha-ha, but your energy should match the story that you're telling, and you should seem excited to be telling the story. You should seem passionate about telling this story, because it's only going to convince the people that you're pitching to that you're the person who needs to tell the story. If there's something out of the ordinary in your script, for example, a time period, if your script does not take place in present day, your pitch should include an explanation for why. Doesn't have to be long, but something to say why it needs to be this way. Especially with something like time period, that can be really expensive. So why is it worth that cost, and why is it necessary? You should be using comps in your pitch. You should not use too many, 2, maybe 3 at most. And if you're curious what comps are and why they're important, I've got a TikTok explaining it. I will link it in the description of this video. And if you need to, you can use little descriptions for why you're using a certain comp, especially if it's going to help make it clearer. So for example, instead of using the comp new girl, you might use the comp the found family style of new girl. And that alone is going to add a little bit of specificity, especially if that's the main thing you're focusing on with that comp. And the last thing that really stuck out to me is that having a structure to your pitch is invaluable. If your pitch feels all over the place, that really brings a pitch down so far. So make sure that your pitch is structured, is pulled together, and is neat. This one is a little unexpected, I guess, but I really realized how important it is to know how to make travel plans. In this industry, so often, you're starting out at the assistant level, and becoming an assistant is a way that a lot of people kind of come into the industry, and being able to make travel plans and make travel plans well and fast is so helpful and really makes such a difference. Here's something you may have heard in classes and things like that, so this might be reiterating, but it's worth it. You need to be able to understand and explain why things do or do not work in writing. Our own tastes can show whether or not we like writing, but you need to be able to go further than that and look at the specific things in a script that either work or don't and understand why. One, because sometimes scripts don't meet our taste, but that doesn't mean they're bad. But also, it's helpful for you to understand things that do and don't work in scripts, to see what you do or don't want to do in your own. And feedback that's just, this doesn't work for me, I don't like this, that's not helpful. And if you're going to be giving feedback on other people's writing, you need to be able to do it with specificity and in a way that helps people better their writing and makes them want to continue writing. I also have a video talking about how to give good constructive criticism, so I will link that up here so you can check it out. The next thing I learned is to trust my gut. If I'm reading a script and I just feel like it's really good or not so much, I've learned to trust my gut. Of course, I keep reading and I get those details on what's working, what's not, but I've really learned that I have the ability to tell if something's good or not, and my gut is enough to trust. I can rely on that to just have this base level. The last thing is just something that I realized a lot and kind of brought into perspective things that I'd learned in the past, and it's don't rely on things like big twists at the end of your script to carry it. I've seen where people will write a script and it's fine, and then there's like a build up to this huge plot twist, and then it feels like it's all riding on that plot twist. One, the reason that this is not the best system is that if your script is relying on that plot twist means nothing if the reader puts down the script before they make it to the plot twist. So that's number one. Also, you should be intriguing and pulling in a reader from the very beginning and pulling them through the entire script. Your script cannot rely on something at the end or even at the beginning. If you got a big thing at the beginning and then the rest of your script is kind of lacking, okay, great, they read like 5 pages and then they're like, okay, I don't see why I'm reading this anymore. It also, when you're relying on a big plot twist or whatever, you're taking away from the rest of your writing and you're not giving it that same thought and attention that it needs. And it can really mess up the rest of your script. And I'm not saying don't use plot twists, but don't rely solely on them. Okay, that's it for this week's video. If you guys have any more questions about what I did at Roadmap or what I learned there, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'm happy to answer any more questions. And if you have any suggestions for more screenwriting videos, please let me know. I really want to start incorporating that into my channel more. So I will see you guys next week with a new video. Bye!